Okay, so I believe that many of us in this room love food. I know I do. And I know that anytime I have a good meal that fills me up, for the rest of the day I'll be in a good mood and I probably won't be grouchy. And this is why I agree with this quote that says, all happiness depends on a leisurely breakfast. The first reason why I agree with this quote is because when I was in the football team and the wrestling team in high school, I always knew that if I didn't eat, there was going to be a good chance that I would probably be starving throughout the game. And me being the guy that always loves to eat, I'd probably just be thinking like, oh, like I can't wait for this game to be over because I just want to go get a snack or something. And I feel like every time I had a good meal before a game or a match for wrestling, I performed better and I was more focused into the game. And the second example is going to work. Sometimes before going to work, I like to eat something because if I go without eating something, I'm most likely going to be hungry and grouchy, and that sometimes turns out bad because my boss can tell me to do something and I'll just be mad because I'm hungry. So I feel like if I have a good meal before that, I feel like I'd be not so aggressive and not be thinking about food that much. And I feel like with anything, like if you do something that you're comfortable with before doing like a big task, I feel like taking time to do something, I feel like it helps out in life a lot because I feel like it'll motivate you to do better and it'll motivate you to just focus on the task or whatever you're trying to achieve. And taking it slow will maybe like avoid you from making mistakes or like or doing something that you will later on regret. So I believe food, or at least for me, it's a very important thing, and that's why I agree with this quote that says all happiness depends on a leisurely breakfast.
All right, the mechanics of the structure I think you have down. You've got an attention device, you make a good transition to the topic, you kind of tell us what your point of view is on this, that's fine. There's a little bit of a preview, which is good. I didn't really know exactly what that third point was. It felt a little bit vague, but the first two examples you had some nice detail on. It would probably be helpful if you gave us a little bit more of an anecdote on those individual things. I'm thinking about what it is that you want to snack on during on game day, or what is it at work that's going to make you frustrated or ticked off with your boss, or your boss vice versa ticked off with you. If you've got an incident or event that you can refer to, that would make it work a little bit better. Presentation wise, your voice is fine, it's paced pretty well, you're doing a good job there. Your facial expressions, you look friendly, you look like you're actually enjoying talking to us for the most part. Good eye contact. Your gestures are completely limited. You start off with your hands locked in front of you in the old fig leaf pose, and then about 30 or 40 seconds into the speech you go the other direction and you look like you're reciting in front of class in the third grade with your arms behind your back and that kind of thing. So you don't look like you were engaged. If I'm just watching your face, you're doing a pretty good job, but I'm watching the rest of your body and it's less so. And you've got the nervous feet. You've got a little, your anxiety's coming out. not quite dancing, but there's a pattern there, and there's a little bit of movement, and that's where all your anxiety's coming out. So plant yourself a little bit more, and you'll be better off. I thought you had a really good summary at the end of the speech, and you reminded us the point that you were trying to make. And that always, when you leave with a good impression, that's always the best thing to do. That helps. That can cover a lot of sins. So that helps you out quite a bit. Now, as far as I can tell, Isaac is the last person to finish on the first round of impromptu speeches. Is there anybody else who hasn't done an impromptu speech yet that was going to do one? All right. Karen, maybe could you ask Isaac in to speak, and then we'll do our prepared speeches.